In the spring of 2017, a young woman sat in the lobby of a luxury Manhattan hotel, calmly signing for charges she had no means to pay. She had been living this way for months, moving between five-star establishments as though she owned them. She called herself Anna Delvey, a German heiress with a fortune reportedly worth tens of millions of euros. But behind the designer clothes and the confident smile was a carefully constructed lie, one that had fooled banks, hotels, and some of New York's most influential people. What unfolded was not a story of a mastermind criminal genius, but something far more unsettling, a case study in audacity, social psychology, and the willingness of powerful institutions to believe what they wanted to believe. Anna Delvey's real name was Anna Sorokin. She was born in Russia in 1991 and moved to Germany with her family as a teenager. Her father reportedly worked as a truck driver and later ran a small heating and cooling business. There was nothing in her background that suggested extraordinary wealth. She attended a local school in the town of Eschweiler near Cologne. But Anna had ambitions that stretched far beyond her small-town origins. After high school, she briefly studied at Central St. Martin's in London, the prestigious art school. She then moved to Paris, where she interned at a French fashion magazine. It was here that she began reinventing herself. By the time Anna arrived in New York, around 2013, she had shed her past entirely. She introduced herself as Anna Delvey, a German heiress whose father, she claimed, was a wealthy diplomat or oil baron. The story shifted depending on the audience. She cultivated an image of effortless wealth. She dressed in designer labels, tipped lavishly, and frequented the most exclusive social gatherings in Manhattan. To those around her, she was simply a rich European enjoying her fortune. What made Anna so convincing wasn't just the clothes or the confidence. It was her ability to read people, to understand exactly what they wanted to believe. She exploited the social currency of exclusivity, and in a city like New York, that currency was worth millions. Anna's scheme was multifaceted, but at its core, it was breathtakingly simple. She presented herself as someone with access to a European trust fund worth roughly 60 million euros, money that, according to her, was being transferred but temporarily unavailable. Her most ambitious plan was the creation of the Anna Delvey Foundation, a private members club, an art space she envisioned in a prime Manhattan location. She approached multiple banks, seeking a loan of around $22 million to fund the project. To support her loan applications, she allegedly submitted fabricated bank statements and forged documents showing substantial overseas assets. She hired real lawyers and financial advisors, lending an air of legitimacy to the entire operation. While the foundation deal was progressing, Anna lived extravagantly on other people's money. She stayed at luxury hotels across Manhattan, including 11 Howard in Soho and the W New York, often running up bills of thousands of dollars before moving on. She also defrauded individuals. One friend, Rachel DeLoach Williams, a photo editor at Vanity Fair, was allegedly left with a bill of more than $60,000 after a trip to Morocco that Anna had promised to cover. Anna used a pattern that investigators would later describe as a juggling act. She would use one fraudulent gain to cover a previous debt, constantly moving money and attention so that no single institution could see the full picture. She allegedly convinced City National Bank to extend her a line of credit of around $100,000 by presenting false financial documentation. She reportedly overdrew the account by a substantial margin. In total, prosecutors would later allege that Anna Sorokin defrauded banks, hotels, and acquaintances of approximately $275,000 while attempting to steal millions more. The scope of her ambition far exceeded even what she managed to take. The unraveling began when hotels and banks started comparing notes. Unpaid bills accumulated. Wire transfers that Anna promised were always coming never arrived. The pattern was becoming impossible to ignore. Rachel Deloach Williams, the friend stuck with the Morocco bill, went to the Manhattan District Attorney's office. Her detailed account of Anna's behavior and spending patterns gave prosecutors a crucial first-hand witness. The case was assigned to the New York County District Attorney's office. Prosecutors began assembling a paper trail: bank records, forged documents, hotel invoices, and email correspondence that revealed the mechanics of the fraud. A key piece of evidence was the forged bank statements Anna had submitted to financial institutions. Forensic analysis revealed inconsistencies in formatting, account numbers, and balances that did not match any real accounts. Investigators also traced Anna's movements through credit card records and hotel check-in logs. The trail revealed a woman constantly on the move, not out of jet-setting luxury, but out of necessity, staying one step ahead of mounting debts. What struck investigators was how brazenly Anna operated. She didn't hide in the shadows. She attended gallery openings, dined at the best restaurants, and networked with real estate developers, all while building a house of cards. The district attorney's team, led by Assistant District Attorney Catherine McCall, meticulously built a case centered on grand larceny and theft of services. They identified multiple victims across banks, hotels, and personal acquaintances. By the fall of 2017, the walls were closing in. Hotels had stopped accepting her. Her credit lines were exhausted. The carefully maintained illusion of wealth had finally become impossible to sustain. Anna Sorokin was arrested in October 2017 at a hotel where she had been staying. She was taken into custody by the NYPD on charges of grand larceny, theft of services, and one count of attempted grand larceny. When arrested, Anna showed no signs of panic. According to reports, she remained composed and even seemed unfazed by the gravity of the charges. This calm defiance would become a defining characteristic throughout her legal proceedings. She was held at Rikers Island, unable to post bail, which was initially set at a significant amount. For the first time in years, Delvey, Anna Sorokin, could not talk her way out of a situation. Her attorney Todd Spodek took on her defense. He would later argue that Anna's actions, while deceptive, were not fundamentally different from the aspirational exaggerations common in New York's social and business circles. But the prosecution saw it differently. To them, this was not ambition. It was calculated fraud. Anna had allegedly created false identities and forged documents with the clear intent to deceive. The evidence, they argued, was overwhelming. The trial of Anna Sorokin began in March 2019 at the New York State Supreme Court in Manhattan. It immediately became a media sensation, not just because of the fraud, but because of Anna herself. Anna reportedly hired a stylist to curate her courtroom outfits, treating each appearance as a fashion statement. She wore designer glasses and carefully chosen ensembles. The trial became as much about image as evidence, exactly as Anna seemed to prefer. Witness after witness testified to being deceived. Hotel concierges described unpaid bills. Bankers recalled the convincing but ultimately fraudulent documentation. Rachel DeLoach Williams delivered emotional testimony about the Morocco trip and its financial aftermath. The defense argued that Anna always intended to pay people back and that the foundation was a legitimate business venture. Todd Spodek reportedly told the jury that Anna was not a criminal, but an entrepreneur who dreamed big in a city that celebrates exactly that. After a trial lasting about a month, the jury reached its verdict in April 2019. Anna Sorokin was found guilty on multiple counts, including grand larceny in the second degree and theft of services. She was acquitted on the charges related to the Morocco trip. In May 2019, Anna Sorokin was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in state prison. The judge also ordered her to pay restitution of nearly $200,000 and a fine of $24,000. The con was officially over. Anna Sorokin was released on parole in February 2021 for good behavior, but was almost immediately taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement for overstaying her visa. Her legal battles were far from over. Netflix adapted her story into the series Inventing Anna, produced by Shonda Rhimes. Anna reportedly received around $320,000 for the rights to her story, money that was largely used to pay restitution to her victims. The case sparked a national conversation about privilege, perception, and institutional vulnerability. How could so many sophisticated professionals be deceived by a young woman with no verifiable credentials? The answer, experts said, lay in cognitive bias. People see what they expect to see. Rachel DeLoach Williams published a memoir about her experience called My Friend Anna. Others affected by the fraud have spoken publicly about the emotional toll, the shame of being conned, and the slow realization that someone they trusted never existed. Anna Sorokin remains a polarizing figure. To some, she is a cautionary tale about fraud and deception. To others, she exposed the hollow machinery of status and wealth in modern America. Either way, she proved that in the right setting, confidence alone can be worth millions. Anna Sorokin built an empire out of nothing but audacity and other people's assumptions. In the end, the greatest thing she ever counterfeited wasn't money. It was trust. A new case drops every day. Subscribe so you never miss one.